people that do like that and have that common bond, love the outdoors, they get it. It's not about just getting something every time, even though that is nice, but just to be out in the mountains and the camaraderie with all the guys in camp, it's just something that a lot of people wish they'd experienced. It's just beautiful. You form bonds and camaraderie with people, and you share those memories. Remember the one you caught? Remember the one that got away? It's just something that if you have that feeling, you just share it automatically.
So we found these bulls this morning from way up on top of the ridge, and so this evening we're gonna come in here. There's 6 bulls on the right, 3 bulls on the right, 6 bulls on the left, right, and hopefully we can get in there, get in this position that when they come out and feed this evening, we can locate them and actually get a shot off. So, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna steel hunt this on the way up, because those one bulls were coming this way when they fed into the timber, so they may keep feeding our direction. So we'll just be quiet, walk single file. Yeah, walk single file, because animals, if you're spread out, you look bigger. It's probably an old military thing, but if you walk single file, you look like just one animal, because you only have, I don't think they can do math, but it looks a lot smaller. Walk single file. This is stop. This is, let me listen. This is over there. So I'm seeing stuff or I'm smelling stuff. Simple. Left, right.
Just watch you.
You didn't even catch it, Johnny. I said left, right.
Other left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this bull tonight. I'm John Stovall here. We're out here in Wyoming. Been waiting my whole life to go elk hunting. Been putting in for this area for 13 years. Finally got drawn this year, and it's been everything I wanted to do. It was always on my bucket list to kill a high country bull. You know, a dream to do it the way they do it. It's what keeps me sane, so I can get away from the rat race, so to speak.
So we're gonna go, there's 5 bulls in here. One's a good one. We're gonna go up and around and try and come down this backside of this ridge, and then just come over the top and see if we can't snipe them. snow went down. Could have busted him. Serenity now. One freaking gust of wind. Should have drilled down. Elk hunting gives me fits. That was a bear bull in that bull. Yeah. Well, that's elk hunting. Well, plan worked perfectly right up to where we were. Literally clicked the safety off, ready to pull the trigger, and a huge gust of wind came from our back and right down to him. He picked his head up, turned. What happened is that wind went down and it swirled around him and came back, and he turned into it, and then the other bull further out, he got it and ran, and
He was
ran
perfect.
right into the timber.
Perfect broadside, just what you had in that wind. He turned, couldn't shoot.
I mean, 10 seconds. Maybe not even that.
No, not even 10
We had all
seconds.
the freaking time in the world, man.
Oh yeah, we had an hour.
Yeah. So now we get to walk out in the dark in this grizzly infested son of a bucket. What'd you think? I think that's a kick in the nuts. It's the first time I've ever gone up and approached an elk like that. I know I'm just filming, but just taking in the whole thing. It's pretty freaking intense. That damn wind though, it's the only gust we've had the whole time we were out here. But I guess that's why they call it hunting, not killing.
And I just wanted to clarify on camera, this tent is bear proof, right?
Absolutely, 100% bear proof.
Okay.
That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, I figured. Okay.
It's like a Yeti tent.
That's why we did Jurassic Park and we tie Austin to the tree. It's tribute.
But it's only bear proof if you put a lock on the zipper.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard the ones out here are starting to. They've got
their
starting to figure it out.
They sharpen 2 claws and they pick locks now.
Wow.
And it works for picking their nose too. It's kind of a dual purpose.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work with Charmin.
Yeah. Man, that's scary.
That's a cool pet.
Hi, I'm Mike Eastman with the Eastman's Hunting Journals, Eastman's Bow Hunting Journals, and Eastman's Publishing. I've been involved in this company since inception, 1987. I'm 3rd generation in the family that started in 1957 filming the outdoors. My grandfather, Gordon Eastman, filmed in Alaska in 1957, moved to northern British Columbia, the Yukon, Northwest Territories. We've taken that beginning, humble beginning, and moved it through the industry and through history, and now we have 2 national publications on Western big game hunting. We have a digital presence with a TV show that was started in 1999 on the Outdoor Channel, and I am the president and owner of Eastman's Publishing. The mission has always been to help the common hunter get better and successfully accomplish that dream of killing that once-in-a-lifetime animal. If it's a trophy, if it's just, I just want to kill a cow elk once. If it's, I want to come out west and hunt every single year, it's to help them accomplish that dream.
We're earning our keep right now. I happen to be the only person that's seen an elk.
No,
a lot of
you're
elk.
the only person
It's a lot
that's
of elk.
spotted enough. All of us have seen.
There's a lot of elk posts and a lot of elk bushes. not a lot of elk yet.
And there's a lot of, for us who hunt, there's always been a lot of pride for that. There's a lot of pride for me to go out and feed my family off the land. I mean, John's gonna go kill an elk hopefully tomorrow or this week sometime and take that back to his family, and he knows where that came from. That's a wild bull elk from the mountains of Wyoming. It doesn't get any more pure than that. You know, the Indian who was living here 2,000 years ago shot the same elk and lived off of it. You know, there's no steroids, no antibiotics, no any of that. You know, that is not a farm or ranch raised animal. That's a wild animal from the mountains of Wyoming, and I think there's not only a lot of pride to that for the hunter to be able to take that animal and process it and eat it and feed his family and friends, but also there's a lot of it's back to the roots of humanity.
So last night, we had a big group of bulls in here we didn't even know about. So, we're trying to relocate them, but we're just trying to sit tight and see where they come out at. We don't know exactly where they are. So, we don't want to, we're trying to play the wind, because last night the wind screwed us. So the wind's blowing this way. So, hopefully, there's something that pops out here as the sun comes out. Let's see what happens. So this area has always been hunted, but they haven't had this late bull season tag. And a few years ago, they got this late bull season tag because, and we knew that because of the tag hub, eastmans.com/tag hub. We've known that, and so obviously Johnny put in for it and was able to draw it. That's one of the advantages of tag hub is the Game and Fish changes stuff constantly trying to manage their herds. And why they changed that here is they have a really high bull to cow ratio. So there's too many bulls. So they put in this late season bull hunt knowing these bulls are in here and they're very killable this time of year. And so they're just trying to manage the herd, because if you get too many bulls and not enough cows, it's an unhealthy herd scenario, and you'll start having things die of disease and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's just unhealthy. It's not viable. And so they take advantage of a late season, and guys like Johnny draw those tags and 75 other guys and come in here and whack bulls. We've seen a lot of elk. Not today. This is actually the first time I've ever been in here not seen elk. And I've been in here for Nothing today.
5 weeks. So weird. I'm blaming Austin, actually, because he's the new part of this mix. I'm blaming him.
Yeah, it's gotta be me. Here's a wolf track. There was some people tracks back here, and I thought that maybe they had a dog, but
A, not many people hunt with their dogs, and B, the human tracks turn around and this one keeps on going. You can tell sometimes it's a wolf versus a dog is just by the pace and direction. It doesn't vary. It doesn't stop. A dog, any of you that have dogs know this, it'll move, it'll wander around, sniff here, sniff there, run in circles. A wolf, when he's on the hunt like this one, he's just motoring, straight as an arrow, no deviation. So it's probably a wolf on the hunt looking for probably wounded elk or something. But over here we have a grizzly bear. So I think we're gonna pull out of here just because it's really fresh and I don't feel like walking back through here in the dark. It may go on up, I don't know, but it dinked around right here. It's not a huge bear, but it's big enough, so probably not a good place to look for elk anyway, because we have a grizzly in here and a wolf that's on the hunt. So we'll go find somewhere else to take a look. Actually, that's his back pad, but his front pad's right there. You measure the width of the pad, and usually it's 1 foot tall for each inch. So this is about a 6-inch, 5.5, 6-inch pad. So we're talking about a 6-foot bear, which means it's a younger bear. And those are actually the most dangerous. The most dangerous is a sow with cubs. This is not a sow with cubs because there's only one set of tracks. But it is dangerous to have a younger bear because they're really aggressive. They're just learning to survive on their own. So they're both curious, dumb, and aggressive. So I'll take a big old bear any day because usually they know how to operate in the woods and they're more afraid of you than you are them a lot of times. But a young bear like this could be real curious and it could be desperate. So especially this time of year because it's November, they're getting ready to den in about a month. So we don't want to run into this guy in the dark for sure.
You can see here, little P. These wolves mark their territory right here. Looks like there may have been probably more than one. Where I can count, looks like there's probably 2. Big old track here. You can see good size. Probably 100 plus pounds maybe. To make that much of an impression. About the size of my hand. No thanks.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent. We're playing those kind of games. All right. My name is Sky Reekers. I work for Eastman's Publishing, Eastman's Hunting Journal, Eastman's Hunting TV, all of those, that family of brands. My official title is Digital Media Director. The self-sustaining nature of what we do with big game is huge. And I hope that more people will see that, more people will understand that. They'll understand the management process of why certain units are managed for trophy quality, why certain units have the certain season dates that they do, because understanding that whole full picture is about making it a sustained resource.
So Scott, we've been talking this whole trip about kind of the role that survival plays and for the outdoorsman. And more specifically for the hunter, especially in this environment in Wyoming. As you can see, the weather kind of will sneak up on you, but there's a ton of other considerations that we have out here. What are some things that you have done that you carry that have kind of facilitated your survival while you've been out here?
Number one is in consideration with what I carry. Like if I'm looking at my pack, and for a hunt like this where our temperature range can literally be at 0 in the morning and it's already up to 30, this is actually fairly common for a late season elk hunt. And late season elk hunt to me is defined October 15th on. So it can run all the way to November. Some seasons, depending on like be a cow tag, run even later into December or January. But the number one thing is there's 2 ways to get yourself a lot of grace and forgiveness. That's puppy layers. So puffy layers and insulation. If you bring a big puffy jacket, I'm a big fan of Gore's Windstopper for that reason. That can aid your preparedness. I haven't pulled my big puffy jacket out once this trip because I've got a fleece. You can see this fleece is actually a Sitka waterfowl fleece, but you can see that it's been plenty warm for most of what I've been doing. But the Windstopper's right here on my core. So as far as that portion of the preparation, I'm always thinking about the wind, because the wind is what robs you of the most heat, especially when you're not active. Phil and I sat this morning for 3 hours looking over one ridge that we actually rode a Can-Am to that ridge because we're looking over a whole bunch of backcountry that we would hike 1.5 miles to get the guy that we're trying to help get a shot. And the wind consideration was huge, number one, for the ride up, because you could end up being hypothermic by the time you actually get to your glassing point. Then you're useless. You know, you're here to hunt, you're here to enjoy it and have a good time. No reason for that to turn into hypothermia. Windstopper does that, but having that puffy available for as soon as I get off that Can-Am or get off a horse, you know, being able to put that on, because when you're active on a horse, you're still engaging muscles and things, even though you're getting windswept. Once you get off, you're now on your own. You don't have any heat rising from the horse, and so you can put that big puffy layer on. That's a huge asset to have. So that's the number one way to get rid of a lot of other, I guess a better way would be put some money into a good puffy layer.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I like the treated down personally, but a lot of guys like synthetic. I know a lot of different schools teach you to use that synthetic. Read up on that online. So that's one way.
Yeah, and that's huge. We talk about that a lot, layering appropriately and things like that, which is something that is easy to take for granted until you're out here. And I mean, at Fieldcraft Survival, we try to follow kind of a basic template, and it's taken from the survival school at the Air Force, which is just health, personal protection, sustenance, and then your contingency stuff, which would just be signal and recovery. So for us, layering appropriately and having the correct clothing falls under personal protection, because that's your first line of shelter against the elements.
So yeah, we woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I didn't have coffee because I didn't want to go to the bathroom because it was 8 degrees. But I had breakfast. Drove up this mountain road. And now we're glassing all this terrain out here. There's a bunch of elk out grazing right now. Just trying to spot one that's worth the effort to navigate over to. So it's pretty cool terrain. So it's just like our land navigation classes, you can kind of see the ridges and the fingers and formulate a plan depending on what direction they're feeding or where to bed it down at. So probably glass until they go to bed, which will probably bed down with some timber or something, and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, there's nothing big in that group.
Okay. So why would you use binos over spot and scope?
So you'll spend, when you're glassing, you'll use your binos 90% of the time because you're looking to find them and then locate, and then you use your spotting scope to do two things. Number one, you break down the animal, figure out, okay, is this the quality of bull that I'm looking for? You know, your progression like we talked about in trophy hunting. Is this what I'm looking for the amount of years that I put in for this tag? And then the next piece that you can do with a spotting scope is you can pick apart the terrain and actually figure out the route in that you're going to take, because you can get real close, and so you can look fine there. And so when we use it to judge an animal, it helps us judge and pick the path to and from, but you're going to spend like 90%. Good glass is important because you can get eye strain if you don't have good glass, and so quality optics will let you not have that headache by the afternoon when you need it. You know, need to be able to look really well for the evening glassing session. So there's all sorts of just little tips. Like this is a SIG Zulu 9 and it's an 11 power. I really like it because we're looking at big distance right now. A lot of guys like 9 or 10 powers too. So that's, you know, kind of a lot of preference. And so
that's just a little bit of what I use. You know, every guy has their preference. A lot of guys really love having range finding binos. I haven't quite jumped in that camp yet. Just I got used to having my rangefinder right here. But like, I know Ike used his a bunch, those range finding binos, and I know there's, you know, Brandon on our team, he really loved it. He actually used it for my deer this fall to be able to get yardage real quick, help me dial in. So, you know, there's a lot of different preferences, but one thing remains the same. You want a quality optic that will allow you to see far, good clarity, and reduce eye strain so you don't get a headache when you're looking all day.
So you guys can see some claw marks from the grizzly out here. It's just a real good reminder that they're out here. So we're at the top of the saddle, and the bulls we saw were this way and this way, and so we're gonna go around to the end. There's a little point we can sit on, and we'll just wait and see what happens. Because there'll be bulls below us, and we'll have to keep our eyes this way because most of the bulls are this way. And then we'll put a stalk on them. Now, as you guys know, the snow is loud. One of the ways that you can keep from being loud is walking each other's steps. So I'll be the loud one, and then you guys will be somewhat quiet. Watch branches, don't break anything, you know, sticks, watch that stuff. When we find them, we'll set up a game plan, and we'll try and get a 300-yard shot, something under 300 hopefully. So you guys go get up and sit down in the woods somewhere on the edge or something. Yep. Does that work? Huh? Does that work? Oh yeah. All right.
If we didn't have bad luck, we wouldn't have luck at all.
Oh, really? Could walk my golf. What are y'all doing? Y'all see something?
Damn.
Nothing. We're sitting here having a beer.
Well, I'm ready for a drink, I promise you that.
Holy that 1 year shot! We heard it!
Oh my God.
I was doing the old game warden trick going, they got no blood on their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. How'd you get the blood off your hands? Those rats! Johnny! He's gonna hug me, God. Holy Let's see this. Yeah. Oh, he's a dandy!
That's a good pull. Look at that.
Oh, 7
man. Good stuff.
That is awesome.
400 yards.
You did the 400?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
he was standing in the same place as the other bulls the other night. We shot him from the same exact tree. We were sitting underneath the same exact tree.
We saw you get up. Like, we didn't know what you were doing. We saw you get up. Remember, and I texted you, I was like, you're frustrated. Yeah.
Do you all
So there were
understand?
bulls up above you.
I know.
Two piss heads.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we got up. I said, well, let's see. Maybe there's something else with them.
You understand what was harder than thinking about not getting a bull is trying to not how I can keep my face. Well, we're all standing there with these.
I was looking. There's no hands on Ike's hands. I'm like, what
y'all doing? Where do you want to, Matici and back?
Look, you guys planned this.
Shot over him. Shoot a little lower. Just,
Oh wait, you got him. He's down.
You shot. We didn't even know it. He just rolled over. You didn't even know it, man.
He's right there, motherfucker. Where? Right there. 38. Oh! Oh! Fired it up now. Son of a. Oh my God. Oh my God, Ike. Woo! Woo!
Oh my gosh, Johnny.
Well, 12 years to get here. Turned 60.
I'll tell you what, you earned this bull. We have been on a bull four times. This is the fifth. This is the fifth time.
Fifth time.
We have got messed up by other public hunters, messed up by a stupid random gust of wind, messed up by, you know, just dark, just messed up by the snow being too loud.
This is probably the last elk hunt for the kid. Been waiting for this backcountry real deal thing. Snow in the mountains, and now they tell me the real part that's really going to happen is trying to get it out. Right?
And then gut him, and then we'll bring the Fieldcraft guys are with us, which is good. They're old military guys. They're not scared of putting a heavy pack on.
No, they want to see some of this. We got some recovery. They're going to get a good share.
We got some definite pack out potential here.
Ike. Oh my goodness, man. I can almost cry a little bit. Whew.
All right, let's, while we can have some light, let's drive around. That's gun fud?
Really big quiet.
So we're hiking in this morning to go get Johnny's bull that he shot last night. This is from where he shot it at, 400 yards that way. A lot of different factors go into this. On the way out here, we saw wolf prints, grizzly prints yesterday. So we're definitely not the apex predator out here. So coming back up on a carcass, you got to be more careful with your surroundings and whatnot with a dead animal on the ground. And then got to shed some layers because we're going to hike it out of here. And that's, how much meat's that? Like 700 pounds?
It'll be probably 300 pounds. Maybe 400 with all the leg bones and everything, but it's gonna be quite the haul.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna carry like one steak. Shouldn't be too bad. It's a nice bull, man. Well done.
Get down there and grab a hold of it.
That's what she said.
So a lot of people, I don't know why they do it, but they'll pack this quarter out with this leg on it. I don't know why you do that. Why do you want to pack that? I mean, that's a big old leg. That's like 20 pounds. You get 4 of them, that's 80 extra pounds of weight. There's a really easy way. There's a knuckle right here. We'll see if we can do it because it's frozen. If not, we got an axe, but there's a knuckle right here that you can just zip around here, pop open or cut those tendons, and you can just pop that leg and throw it off. It's really, really easy. It gets leaves remain, or you get rid of 20 pounds. Plus, when you're gonna cape it, I'm gonna run this knife right up here, right up the leg, because they'll sew it back. You can see where I cut it last night here, just to give us a starting point. And then that's how you cape it. You cut him here, cut him on the both sides, and then I'll zip him all the way around this way, and then zip him up the back. And then the hide will come off with the head. We'll uncork the head just like we did with the leg, right in the knuckle, the back of his skull, where his skull attaches to his spine. We call it uncork it. And you just get in there with a knife and start cutting the meat, and it'll just twist right off. And then you'll have the hide, the head, and then we'll start working on the meat, and we'll pull this meat off, and then this back meat, and then we'll go down the spine, and we'll get the tenderloins, or the back straps, where I got the tenderloins because we gutted him last night. We'll get the back straps off, and then we'll roll him over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're all quartered up, heads uncorked. We're gonna throw them on packs and get out of here. This is the worst part of all of this, is straight up that cliff with 350 pounds of meat. So thank God we got lots of people. Many hands make short work.
Hunting is conservation. It's a sustainable resource. It's a measurable piece of our economy. Every single license that is sold, the federal government gives money to the states to manage their big game. You know, understanding that and being a part of what goes on into that kind of hunt, that's what we're doing. All the pieces all melded together, culminating in one moment where there's a harvest of an animal taken.